about my grandson. And to where it got to the point where I felt like he was in danger. Because I woke up crying. I remember waking up out of my sleep crying. And so I didn't really think too much about it, you know. Then that Monday came, and my daughter, she came over. She was getting ready for work. And I said, where my baby at? I said, I didn't see my baby, in a while. She's like, he's at his dad's house. He's supposed to be potty training. He's supposed to be in potty training. He's supposed to be potty training. I was like, oh. She said, he's been here for 9 days. And I said, he's been over there for 9 days? You left him over there for 9 days? And she was like, yeah. I said, well, you need to go get him after you get off of work because I want to see him. She'll bring him over here. She's like, okay. And so that day went on. It's a very hot day, June 4th, 2018. We'll never forget it. Sitting there. And I was almost in a dream state or a deja vu, or I don't remember if I was asleep or if I was awake, or, it seemed like I was just like in some other dimension. But the phone rang and I kind of jumped and I, raised up because I had my cell phone right beside on the arm of the couch. And so it was my daughter. So, I answered the phone, and I said hello, and she said, she just started, Mom, screaming at me, and I was like, what, at that time, and she said, Jamie's dead, and I said, what, and I remember my oldest son being, he was in the house, and I was like, what, and she's like, Jamie's dead. And I said, how? I'm like, oh my God, I was really, because I had a strange feeling the whole day. It was just a feeling that came across me, and I didn't know what it was, and so by that time, my son come, and he's like, Mom, what's wrong? And I couldn't say nothing. I couldn't do anything. I was like numb. I was, I couldn't believe it. I was shocked, and so I guess he talked to her, and I remember him coming back towards the room, and I just heard him like kind of busting out crying, and I said, oh my God, it's true. So, but it was weird because that same time that he had passed or whatever, got shot, I felt that it happened around 3 o'clock. Mind you, my daughter didn't find this out until around 5. It probably was around maybe 3, 4 o'clock. I mean, we'll know about 4, 5, something like that. But anyways, because before she even called me, it felt like, something came running and ran into me, and I was like, dang, what is that? I didn't know. Everything was foggy. Everything was just around me, like, looking weird. But I remember it being a hot day, but, I just felt something hit me so hard that it raised me back up, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, dang, what was that? And like I said, I got the call around maybe an hour or so later after this incident because I didn't know what time it happened. But so I did find out when the time happened. That's the time I believe he ran to me. I believe he ran to me looking for protection, or he ran to me, trying to just get to me or something. I don't know. But it's like the whole, like his energy. But like I said, I didn't know what it was. Something hit me so hard that I didn't know what it was. It was almost like it took my breath away. You know what I'm saying? So then she called me. She told me what happened, and I was like, sometimes I blame myself for that because I should have, when I had that dream on that Saturday, I should have just said something. I should have felt something. I should have just, I didn't know. I really, I did not know that was things that was showing me that, he was gonna pass, and I felt so bad. I still to this day I feel bad. I feel bad every day. It's not a day that goes not by that I don't think about my grandson. I should have just said something. I should have just go get him. He's in danger. Or something. I don't know. But something did tell me that don't blame myself because it wasn't my fault. I felt like it was my fault. I felt like I should have said something, but I didn't. And I just felt like, you think a child is with his father or mother or whatever, that you would think that something would happen that tragedy, to a child. Falling down, getting hurt, getting a knee scrape or something. Mm-hmm. That's understandable. But not getting shot.
That's something.
2 years old. You would think, and I had to start thinking, why? I was wondering why that happened. And, I tried to come to the point now to where maybe it was just that he was needed somewhere else. Maybe he's been here before. Maybe it was just things that happened. Maybe he just didn't get it right, or I don't know. I don't know. 2 years old. How do children just die? How do they just pass away? How does a child get shot? At 2 years old. 2 years old. It's like he's still a baby. It's like, I don't know. It's just a whole lot of things. But I believe the signs were there for me, but I just couldn't. I guess I just didn't put them together. I guess I just didn't see it come. Could I have stopped it? Maybe, maybe not. Things happen for a reason. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Things do happen for a reason.
Yeah. I don't think there's coincidences. I always think there's reason. I always believe that reason, things happen for a reason. And most of the time when things are going so bad that good things come out of.
Yeah. We learn from things that happen around us to wake us up. And sometimes we don't wake up because we're too busy blaming ourselves for the situations that goes on in our life.
Well, I believe he was part of my awakening. They've been trying to wake me up for a long time, but I believe he was part of my awakening. I believe because even before that happened, there was things going on with me. But I believe when this happened, this was my full awakening. This is when this is when I really woke up,
And what was going on?
Well, I was waking up in the round hours of, early, like I would see numbers on the clock, like 333, 444, I started seeing numbers. I started seeing like who I really was. Like, I was just seeing things that other people wouldn't see. I felt different. I felt really, really different. I didn't feel like I was still that person that I was. I felt different. Everything around me was different. Sounds, just people, everything, there was.
Are you on Facebook? Are you looking at the live? Someone just gave you applause. So how do you feel about that when you kind of lost touch with yourself? I like the story that you were telling me when you were 15 and the part about the movie theater. I mean, going through the drive-in and all that stuff and the guy in a hotel room. And how you had the knife put up to your neck.
Around with them all that day. And family nighttime came, and he felt like, they wanted to have sex, with somebody there. And, it's like, no, so we ended up, me and my girl, it's like, we're going to go to the drive-in and sneak in and watch this movie. I think it was Penitentiary. That's when Penitentiary, Too Sweet. Everybody was in love with Too Sweet back then, So anyways, as we proceeded to pull around to the back of the school, she decided she wanted to take the car keys out the ignition. And when I really didn't even know she had did this, but she was in the field telling me to run, and I was like, run for what? I'm not running for what? So I guess he found out that the keys were gone, so he grabbed hold of me and put a knife up to my throat. He was getting ready to. He probably would have cut my throat. So I told her, he was like, where's my keys? And I was like, I don't even have the keys, So, I told her, I said, if you got, you got the keys, come on, And so I guess she thought it was a joke, but it wasn't no joke for real. I could have gotten killed or anything, throat slash, face, or anything. So when she proceeded to throw the keys back at him, that was kind of like, when he looked, that was my escape, being that I could push him away, and run, it wasn't very funny. It wasn't funny at all, but she thought it was. Yeah.
Then you said y'all came out of the drive-in.
Yeah, when we came out of the drive-in after we watched the movie, it was like the same street, because they used to sit out on the street. They were called, back then they were like winos. They would call them winos or whatever. They would sit in cars and drink, all day and this and that and other. But anyways, they were on our street.
How old was you? How old was you at the time?
I probably was about 14, 15 years old.
Okay, so
but we looked older. Okay, we dressed older. So he seen us coming around the corner. We had to stop in our tracks because there was some other people there, some other guys there, and he was like, "Well, there she go right there. There they go right there." So we actually had to run, because they were after us, because of the situation that had happened. I don't know what he was planning on doing, but I'm quite sure I can imagine what he probably would have done. He would have caught us, so we ended up running and having to go to another friend's house on the other street for a while, till everything kind of settled down, because, like I said, I believe his intentions would have been, not good. He probably wanted to hurt us, for what we did. But, that was a lesson to be learned. A lesson to be learned.
What time at night was that?
Man, I had been around, probably the movie ended probably around maybe 11:30, something like that, And of course, why should we have been out that late? But we were, because, my mother, she didn't care about things like that for real. So it was like basically, I kind of raised my own self anyway, but she didn't care about stuff like that for real. She would probably just try to call the police or something and have me arrested, but she couldn't do that either. But that's if she wanted to, every now and then. Yeah. Yeah.
You was a rebel.
A rebel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think she could say something like that. Maybe I was. Yeah. I've been in a lot of situations, but as I got older, I knew that was just not for me.
How old was you when you dated your first drug dealer?
When I did what?
When you dated your first drug dealer.
I want to say I probably was about 16.
And what kind of person was he?
I mean, he was all right. He was sometimes, not all the time. I mean, it's all according, how he felt, how his day was going, I guess, and he didn't like a whole lot of things. I dated like men that just, used to put their hands on me, okay? Because I thought that was the thing, and as I grew up, like I always thought that it was okay for a man to put his hands on you, because if he did, he loved you. But that's not the case. We all know that now. I didn't know that then, So I've been in a few abusive relationships, starting at the age of probably 15, probably on up to maybe about, I want to say at least about 27.
Whoa.
Yeah. Because that's all I thought, I just thought that if a man do these things to you, that means he cared, That's just what I thought, Being that I was always looking for, love and things like that, I just felt like, okay, it's okay, it's okay. Because the more he does it, the more he loves you.
This is a talk show, people. So if you just tune in on a talk show. Okay.
I mean, that's just how it was, Especially back in that time, you would just always think that, this is just the way. I've always been around a lot of situations, people that, I've always hung out with older people. I never hung out with people my own age.
You're reading my mind.
I'm reading your mind?
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I always hung out with older people. Because I always thought, hey, they were more mature, they were more, like they almost had it together, more than, because the younger ones, that's all they wanted to do was play. They wanted to play. They didn't know what was going on. They just, just played too much.
The same here. I always dated older women. I was 14 and the woman, she was 21. She took the slingshot out of my hand. And I mean, boy, she took me for a ride.
Mm.
Then after that, it always was older women.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But they wasn't abusive.
Well, most of mine were. Because they wanted me to be, how can I put it? Hey, you're with me and me only. I don't want to share you with no one else. But I mean, if you're just, you're young and you're a teenager, of course you're not gonna try to settle down with one person. I mean, not like that. I mean, it's not just because of that. It's just like other freedoms, like, oh, I want to be out with my girls or something, or, I want to just be free.
Especially when you're 14 and 15 at that.
Yeah, but, the guy I was with, he just didn't see that. He didn't see that at all. He just seemed like he was going to be very, how can I put it? What's the word I'm looking for? Like when I first started dating him, he was a nice person. Of course he was older than me. He like I said, he was my age. He was buying me things, and we had a good time. But after a while, after I say 3-4 months,
the mask came off. The mask came off.
Yeah, basically. So he started, I had this little part-time, like I said, little summer job, like for teens, and he would come down and he would like wait on me to come out. And if I was like at least about maybe not even 5 minutes late, he would come in and he would ask about me, where I'm at, this and that and other. I mean, it got to the point to where it just I ended up losing my job because of that, because he just was really obsessive. He got me on the bus. Like the first time I remember him putting his hands on me is when, I remember we used to like to go roller skating. So I just had bought me some brand new skates, and I was, I had them. I had bought them before I went to work. So we was on the bus, and okay, so anyway, he was mad. I don't know, he's mad about something that day. I don't really remember what it was, but I do remember getting on the bus, and we're supposed to be, going home or whatnot or whatever, and we rode the bus. We were going the opposite way from the house because, I guess he just wanted to, I don't know, I guess he wanted to start in on me, I guess. I didn't even really know he was going to start in with me. Some words were said, and all of a sudden I know I was getting jacked up on the back of the bus, and it was like, the bus driver was like, hey, he was saying, like, you're going to have to get off the bus, whatever, or he's going to call the police, because everybody seen what was going on. He wasn't scared. He wasn't scared. He wasn't ashamed of what he did to me, started doing to me, So basically, I threw the skates off the bus, out the window, and I was like, dear, you want them, you can have them. I think it was something even about the skates. I don't remember, but, he was trying to pull me off, and I was like, no, I'm not going with you, so I was really scared. So, he finally got off the bus, and I had to ride the bus all the way around, and I tried to call his mom and tell her what was going on, and she was like, well, what did you do to him? You know, like, your son just put his hands on me. And I'm like, you know, I'm letting you know this, you know, I'm like, and I'm scared, you know. She was like, well, I don't know, you know, I don't know what you did to him. I don't know what made him do something, you know, like almost like taking up for him in a sense. You know, I don't even, you know, I was like, oh my God, like for real. I didn't want to tell my mom because.
What did she say? What did she say?
What did she say?
She said his father used to do what?
Yeah, his father used to beat on her. Well, she told me, like, you know, his father used to, it was like almost saying it was okay because his father used to beat on her. You know, they had like 12 kids together, you know, and I mean, she just felt like, you know, he left her. His father, well, he said his father ended up walking out. But, you know, before that happened, he was always abusing his mother. You know, he was putting his hands on her. They were arguing something, you know. So, yeah, he's seen some things too. So I guess maybe that's probably the reason why he turned out to be who he was, you know, because he didn't have a good life at all. His life wasn't that good, but, yeah, it just came to parts where he just, you know, he's a very jealous person. I mean, I couldn't even look at anyone. I couldn't even, you know, I don't know how you go around not being able to look at someone, but, you know, because if I looked up and if I looked at anybody when I was around them, I would get a backhand smack. You know, it would be something like that all the time. I mean, he would want me there. He would want me around his friend. He would want me to be there with him, but I was not allowed to look up. I wasn't allowed to look around. I had to sit there with my head down. Yeah. Because I remember the first time that happened, we were all sitting around with, you know, people from the neighborhood, you know, we had this little clubhouse or something in the back of his house, and we used to all hang out, you know, and stuff. And I remember sitting there, we were all sitting there getting high, you know, smoking, drinking and stuff. And, you know, I proceeded to, like, I was talking to someone, our friend from our hood, and he, you know, I guess he looked at me and looked at him, and the only thing I know is, you know what I'm saying, it was a smack so hard. I'm like, you know, everybody looking like, what? You know, he's like, I don't want you looking at nobody from there. He said, I don't want you looking at anybody from now on. You know, and his, you know, our friend, he was like, that wasn't cool. Why would you hit her? You know, like, why did you do that? You know, like, he said, I don't want her looking at nobody. I don't want her talking to nobody. I'm the only one. Like, wow. I don't know why I took that for a while. You know, I took that for a while, and because I thought, well, you know, hey, he was good to me sometimes, and then sometimes he wasn't. You know, but I felt like he loved me. You know, I felt like he went through a hard time, and he really needed somebody. He needed that. He always thought that somebody was gonna, you know, leave him or something like that, like his father did. You know, his mom or whatever. So I really stayed. I guess I stayed because I felt sorry for him, I guess. But he wasn't feeling sorry for me, huh? Yeah. He was really abusing me. I'm talking about from hits to, we might as well say rape, everything. You know, I mean, whatever he could do. So, I mean, yeah. But I stayed because I thought he cared. You know, everybody was telling me, you know, my girls were saying, girl, you got to get out of that because you're too young for that. You shouldn't have to go through that. You know, and this and that and other. You know, I was listening. You know, I've had people come and take up for me men's and things, you know, and this and that and other. And, you know, I just kept doing it. And then I just, one day it just clicked in my mind, like, you know, it was like, he was driving me crazy. Like, I just wanted to, like, cut my hair off. I just wanted to cut my wrist. I wanted to kill myself. You know, I was really, I mean, he really made me feel, but I kept saying, you know, I felt like something inside of me was like, you're stronger than that. You don't have to do these things to yourself, you know, to get away. You know, he would threaten me. He would say, like, if you don't do this and that and other, I will kill your dad. You know, I'll kill your dad. You know, I know what time he goes to work. I know what time he comes home. You know, I can kill him. And I kind of believed him only because I've seen things that he had done to people. I've seen him fighting. I've seen him, you know, doing some things, you know, and it's like, man, you know, I was scared. I was a kid. I was a teenager, but I was still a kid. You know, I was like, this is just like a lot. It was like I wasn't even myself, you know, and I wasn't myself because he kind of took over myself. And I had to find myself when I couldn't find it. And I kept trying, and I couldn't, you know, until one day it was just it. Something just, I don't know, something happened.
Arika is on the phone. Peace.
Hey, Arika.
And you said you had
Peace, Arika.
You said you had to find yourself, huh?
I had to find myself. I've been looking for myself for a long time.
How many kids did you have by this person? How you doing, Sybil?
My first daughter.
T-Baby, she's talking.
My first, I said my first daughter. I kind of, you know,
this is
I didn't really want him to know that, you know what I'm saying? Because like by that time I had met like my other kid's father, you know what I'm saying? And so basically, you know, he took her in just like my stepfather did me. So I didn't really want to talk about that, even though, you know, everybody, of course, had rumors going around about it, you know, but I don't never want to take that from her, you know, so I don't want her to, you know, I don't know, it's really actually one that I.
Hey. Yeah, but hold on. What's up? Hey.
Are you watching?
I don't know. Oh my God, I look like a hot mess on live.
Can you see her?
I don't see no. I just see you.
No, you can see you on the live.
Can she? Oh.
Yeah.
I just got up not too long ago.
Can you hear her?
No, she went out. She went away.
Oh.
I'm gonna hang up so she can come back in.
No, she's on the telephone.
Oh, she on the phone. Which y'all talking about? Look at me on this daggone live. I ain't talking about nothing myself. I want some waffles. My daughter down here from college, so I guess she wants some waffles. I'm gonna get her to fix her some waffles. What you been doing? I can't hear T-Baby though. No. And I was She still talking?
Yep.
Oh, I'm hanging up so I can hear her.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Aretha just hung up so she could hear you. Now, what was you saying? I was just thinking that, as far as it being a journey, as far as it being a journey, I was just thinking that.
because of the way that things happen to me. You know, like if you had been there, you know, this wouldn't have happened. If you would have listened to me, this wouldn't have happened. You know, and I don't know. I guess I can't really blame. I just blame her, but because of things that she went through too. Because sometimes that's just a pattern. Sometimes things happen like that. You know, but I know I wasn't gonna do that with my children. I did know that for a fact.
Arika says she can't hear you. Hold on for a minute. I'm gonna bring Arika on, okay? Are you watching the video? Okay, she says she can hear. See, I'm not saying anything, Arika. T-Baby talking. Can you hear T-Baby? Say something right quick.
Hey, sis.
How you doing, Gloria? Can you hear T-Baby? Okay, talk, T-Baby.
Peace, everyone.
Okay, I'm gonna bring Arika in right quick. Hold on. Okay, she can hear you loud and clear. Yeah, you got a lot of noise in the background, Enrique. Okay, you can go back to talking.
No, I was just saying, hey,
Let me see something.
I think I seen her. She said we're good like this. Okay.
Okay, good, cool.
Yeah.
You know you're saying what?
It's almost like the sound is catching up to the video.
Okay, you're talking about how you cherish and love your kids. How you doing, Pat?
Yeah. I mean, because when you go through something like that and you have children, that's the only thing you can do is love them more. You know, I just wanted to love them the way I wanted to be loved. You know, and they know it. You know, they know it to this day. I mean, yeah. You know, and I know everyone has a story to tell. You know, and it's good to hear other people's stories, like how you and I told each other our story, and our stories were so much alike. It wasn't even funny, but you know, sometimes it helps people. Like when you talk about it and you talk about things that happen instead of keeping them all bottled up inside, you know, because for so long I was so scared to tell anybody. You know, I don't know how they were going to react. I don't know how they were going to feel. Yeah, I was concerned about how people thought about me. Yeah, you know, I'm getting out of that now. You know, I'm not too much into really that, but that's just how I was feeling at the time. You know, how people would feel about me. I told my story, you know, and plus I was ashamed too. I wasn't just like scared, but I was ashamed. I was really hurt, you know, so long. You know, I had all this in me.
Yeah, sometimes we get hurt, and then we find ourselves constantly looking for pain.
Yeah.
You know, we constantly be looking to get hurt because that's what we're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Because that's all we know. You know what story that really got me was the one with the guy with the wig.
Yeah, it got to me too. It's like, I mean, because I've always picked up strange people, like not pick them up, but people, strange people have always came to me. I don't know why. I don't know if it's some kind of magnetic attraction or something. Like, hey, she's the one. Just go to her, and she'll know what to do, or she knows what to say, or you can just do her any type of way. I guess I don't know how that works.
Yeah, it is like an addiction, to attract people like that. You're right, Erika.
Um,
But the guy, but the guy with the wig, that was a good one.
Well, okay, I don't know how that happened. I just know one day I was out and about, and some guy just like, hey, he was like, you want to ride with me? And I'm like, looking at him like, I don't even know you. I'm like, he was like, no, I just want you to ride with me, and talk to me, and so I don't know, I roll with them, and it's like, like I said, I was a kid, I was only like 15, maybe 16 years old, and he had this wig on. He had this different color like wig on. I don't know why he was wearing a wig. Maybe that's what maybe get in the car. I really don't know. Maybe I thought it was funny and stuff. I don't know. But he actually went to this hotel, and he went inside. I guess what happened, I guess maybe then maybe they didn't change keys or something. I don't know, but you had to have a key. So he had a key, and he went in. And he actually went. I didn't even know what he was doing, because he pulled up at a hotel. He gets out the car. He changes his wig. He changed his wig, mind you. He changed his wig from like this clown-looking wig to like this other type of wig, like this slick-down wig. Okay. So I didn't know what the man was doing. I'm like, I just thinking like, well, I don't know what I was thinking. I just thought he was funny, I guess. So he goes into this hotel room, and when he comes back out, he hurries up and snatches off the wig, and he starts up the car, and we zooming out of there, and and I'm like, what's wrong? He said, I just went in there, and I robbed these people. And I said, what? I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, but can you please just take me back home? I don't know what this is, what happened, what just happened here, but I'm like, he just went in and he robbed someone. While they were in their sleep, mind you, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. So he actually took me home. He asked me if I wanted some money. I said, no, I don't want no money. No, I don't want it. And I stayed in the house for like about 2 days because I thought the police was going to come to my door.
How old was you?
I was scared. I was really scared. I was like, I was telling my friends, my girls, I was like, I think I'm going to be in some trouble.
What was your age at the time?
I probably was about 15. About 15. I was a kid. I was scared. I was like, no. I stayed in the house, for 3 whole days because I thought the police were going to come knocking at the door. And like my girls would come over and they'd be like, how come you won't come out? And I'm like, I'm not coming out right now because this guy did something. I didn't know anything about it. He did something, and I think the police might come and get me or something. They, they was like, what did he do? And I, went on to tell them, and they was like, if the police ain't came to your house yet, they're not going to come. I guess back then they probably didn't even have cameras, you know what I'm saying? But, I'm like, okay. So, it just really, it had me paranoid, And I was like, that's another thing, I don't know. You just have to quit. And I kept telling myself, you gotta quit doing that stuff. You gotta quit being so friendly. You gotta quit being so trustworthy to people, because you don't know what a situation may happen. I mean, it's so many things that's happened to me, like different incidents like that one particular incident. I mean, it's like, I didn't know, because I used to like to drive, okay? I love driving, okay? And I would try to, drive as much as I could. And like I had a friend, and I didn't even realize that I was like a driver, like for something that they were doing, and when they came out, they was like drive, and I'm like, I drove. So many things. I probably could have been in penitentiary, or something. I don't know, like, because I was so trustworthy, and I had to stop that. I had to stop being trusting and I mean, not just males, but females, too. Different things that, and females, they will do that to you. You get with them and they want to talk about people and they want to start stuff and they want to, they want to be all about the drama sometimes, and I had to start breaking myself off of females as well, because that wasn't a good thing either, and I never was a person for, I never did like a lot of drama in my life, Like, sometimes it just came, and I always try to be a peacemaker. But sometimes I just found myself in situations that I just, didn't get out sometimes. Or I got out, but, and then I would always like seem to get myself back in, and I'm like, this ain't right. I can't be doing this stuff, So, I mean, but yeah, now it's different now. I'm living my life as, as good as possible, I guess. And I'm still learning. I'm really still learning, to be honest. I'm really still learning. I'm still, this new thing that's going on with my life. I'm still getting used to it. I'm still striving to get used to it. It's a change. It's really a change. It's a good change, but yeah. So, Adonis, how long have you been doing it? How long have you had a change?
I'm changing every day, every second, every moment.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you have to change. You have to adapt and embrace, and you have to embrace everything. You have to adapt, change, and embrace it. Take it all in. It's almost like you have to become one with every situation that comes in your life.
Yeah. 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 Is Rika still out there?
Yeah.
No. Love you, sis. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I got so many, but that was just most, just some of it, from my story. Like I said, it's been a long journey.
I can't say too much because Facebook could turn around and put me in Facebook jail. That's why I put the heading on it. This is a talk show, our talk show.
Yeah.
I mean, don't be surprised if they give me another 24 hours.
I mean, I just think that, I don't see no I don't see why, if a person wants to talk about their story or they want to talk about, I don't see how that could be, anything bad, because sometimes when you talk about experiences or, the story, your life, whatever, it might be somebody else out there that has, like, the same, they can, they can understand, they can adapt to that, whatever, then there might be someone who might be, still in the dark and just want to, oh dang, or they have that fear like I did, you know what I'm saying? And once you start talking about your own story, your own life, and things, and you could bring it out, like that, then they could, like, hey, I want to, if I can get this out, you know what I'm saying, I will feel much better. And so then they begin to start talking, or they'll start letting things go. Because that's the whole thing. You have to let it go one day. You can't keep this inside forever.
You have to
I mean,
release it.
some people do, but I'm just saying it's not good. It's not a good healthy thing to do for real, to keep things inside.
You have to open up the release valve in you and let it out.
Yeah.
If not, they build up like a pressure cooker. Your body expels everything that's toxic in it. Sometimes you have to expel the toxic stuff that's been put inside of you by other people.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's kind of funny how people do shit and they try to get you not to talk about it.
Yeah.
But if you don't talk about it, it builds up.
You just have to overcome the fear, the shame, and anything else that you're feeling, because that's the only way, that's another way of being free, and you get rid of everything and everyone that ever put anything inside of you. You can get rid of all that. Just let it go, that's how I feel about it,
We call that intrusion of the mind. Intruder alert. Intrusion of the mind.
Yeah.
That's when you walk around with somebody else's thoughts that you didn't put in your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just think holding on to all those negative energies, all those things all your life, you know what I'm saying? And then like one day you just like just release it and let it go. And then everything just starts flowing out. All that negativity just starts coming out, And then as it's cleaning yourself, like it's like cleaning yourself, and
that's right, intrusion of the mind.
All of everything that you start putting back in is positive and good, and then you can really feel, that's how you can feel the difference. That's just like I said, you just feel the difference of everything, so.
Hey,
I mean, I'm glad that I met you because, when we first started talking and stuff, it was so amazing how you were telling me your story, and it's like, not only that, it's like, I felt a good energy, good vibe, and it's like, that's when I started releasing mine, and it was a good thing, So now, I just hope that if there's someone out there, maybe listening or something, maybe one day they can release their story, release their self.
Well, Lisa Rika can't hear me because she broke intrusion of the mind. Rika, do you have a story that you need to tell or you want to tell? You could come on now.
Yeah.
If not, T-Baby is on a roll.
I'm just saying that, I'm just saying, like, I'm hoping that hopefully if someone is listening, maybe haven't told or whatever, that they can do the same. It's okay. It's really okay. I never thought it would be okay, but it's okay. Because I know I'm the kind of person I used to keep things so deep down, And now with me, just sharing or just saying it, it's all good. It's all good now.
Okay. Regina Daddy, is that you? You told me so many great stories. How you doing, Regina? Anything you need to say, Regina, I'll bring you in. This is a talk show. You know me. Hey, every time I get to talking, I wind up in Facebook jail. They might put me in Facebook jail after this video. Anything you need to say or you want to say, Regina, I could bring you in. How you doing?
Much love.
What's your story? What's your story? Come on, teach.
Oh, it's my story. I'm trying to go with the background noise. Is that coming from me? I don't know why it's still happening.
Hey, T baby, mute your phone right quick.
Okay. My story is really weird. It's like being born in a different world. And it's frustrating because I live in a world where people like us, magic things don't happen to. But yet, as I research, the whole world is built on what they call magic, but with our scientists, it was the way that we lived, our culture, which was tied to the energies that are part of life, the life force energies. So it's kind of like when you look at that Harry Potter movie where there was muggles and then there was the people that were with knowledge of magic, occult systems and stuff. It's like that. It's like having eyes to see what they're doing, but being born in a world with other people who can't see. So you look like the crazy one, and you can see them, these monsters, these sorcerers, these witches and magicians attacking your people, people like you, people that live next to you, controlling their minds, using them as meat packets and puppets. And if you speak on it, because of the control that they have, I was like the Silverwood brothers, because of the control that they have over the population, they're getting away with it.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by it's like this magic world. It's a veil that's pulled over everybody else's eyes around you that you can see. And they know you can see them. So once they know you can see them, these attackers, once they know you can see them, they attack you further. That's why they attack intellect, they attack free thought, they attack anyone who's not part of their cycles of thought. Anyone who's not dancing to their tune, literally the music, the advertising, the fashions, the fads, the freaking bells on the churches that ring on the hours that remind you of the concepts that we were born and raised with. Forgive, forgive, forgive. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Don't kill yourself. Don't tap in to the energies around you. Everything is a lie. That this is us. And so you start to gather all this different information.
There's a lot of
Yeah, somebody just decided to empty their water out while I was
do
talking.
this.
Yeah,
Go out and come back in.
yeah, this is really bad. I don't know what that is.
Just go out and
Well, I pretty much said what I wanted to
huh?
say. I pretty much said what I wanted to say for now, I
I
guess.
can't hear you.
All right. How do I get out?
Okay. That's crazy. Hold on. I'm gonna bring her back in and see what's going on.
Good day. Much love to you and yours. Yeah, so at this time during our ascension, um, it's a beautiful time to be able to watch people catching up and the lights turning on and the information being there for the things that we couldn't see before as a group, as a unit, as a consciousness, you know, as the most highest people we couldn't see. Making some pants. You know what I'm saying? And so when I was a child, I was 7 years old, and I said this poem. Um, it was every time I turn around, I see devils come out the ground, and I was told to shut up. Don't be saying stuff like that. You know, black families, melanated folks. You know, whatever you want to call yourself, colored folks.
What,
What was that?
you have been
I'm having the most difficult time hearing you, the family.
I know people
Yeah, they do. There's a lot of noise and distraction while I'm trying to deliver this message, but um, for those who are conscious, yeah, you know, that's what they do to us. But we're going to say what we need to say anyway. I think that might be on your end, family.
this Facebook doing
So, you know, like that woman was saying, I don't know what her story was or what she was talking about. But just as far as you inviting people to tell their story, like what's your story, the thing that always bothered me is that the way that all these things were depicted was that it was always somebody else's story. It was never melanated folks that were being abducted, experimented on, that had contact with aliens or fairies, or you know what I'm saying, all the supernatural stuff. You never saw our face in it. Like, why? I was like, okay, so we're supposed to be biblically cursed, and the aliens don't even want to mess with us. You know what I'm saying? None of that stuff happens to us. You know, in my research, I would see angels, like people caught strange phenomena on camera. Um, and you can literally see the numbers and stuff, you know, the dates or whatever, on the film. And they had to slow it down, and you could see how angels or whatever it was swept somebody out of the way of a car. Just things that you can't explain unless you understand the principles, universal law, unless you take into account biblical information about this time, about spiritual things. And I remember being in church, and having questions that they couldn't answer as a child. And always being told to shut it down and shut up and stop asking questions. But if this is a system of spiritual learning, why can't I ask questions? And as a child, I knew I was a troublemaker, or at least I felt like it, you know? And when injustices were done, it just added to it. And I was told to shut up, and I became a troublemaker. And my personality style added to them being able to keep me quiet. You know, so when I was abused sexually, when I was beaten physically, when I was mentally abused, when I asked for help and I was told that you did it, and then when they left, I was told, don't worry about it, you're all right. You know, the weird stuff as a child. I had to struggle through that, and the consciousness grid was so locked down into that condensed thinking. The teachers were right, the counselors were right, the doctors were right. You know what I'm saying? The military was right, the police was right. Everybody was right but you, and you were getting a hole torn in your behind. So basically, that was my story. You know, I was a child. I saw things differently. I had spiritual gifts that did not fit into our culture. So it was demonized, and I was told to shut up. And while I was being to their interpretation of help, I saw that they were plagued with demons, that they weren't forthright, that they weren't following, that out of their mouth was saying one thing, but in their hearts was something totally different. I saw that within my home. I saw that within other people, and at first I was angry. I was angry at everything until I got infected, and then I realized what this was. I spent years spinning around, infected by mind control, plagued by demons, struggling, trying to figure this thing out. On their medications, in and out of their hospitals, in and out of the churches, in and out of therapy, all kinds of stuff. Until that child that was abused, that they tried to mangle, that they lied on, that they did false witness on, still is in here. And looking at all the other children get effed around. And hurt people. And I connected on a fractal level spiritually to being an adult and wanting help. And that child still not having a voice, not being heard. And in seeing these other children still being hurt and nobody doing anything about it. The same kind of crap going on, even stronger. These demons did push-ups and stuff. They smiling in your face and had grandchildren and good jobs and all puffed up. Still telling you how to correct your spelling and sit up straight, boy. And you ain't nothing with you because you don't have this. But how they got there and the stuff they're doing behind the scenes was all messed up, and I could see that, and I lived with that, and I kept my mouth shut through all that. And I could see other children doing it too. There's us children as adults running around with pain, all kinds of pain, and hurt people. And so, trying to fix myself and wanting to help children and seeing my own pain and help my own children, it became an enmeshment that is part of my medicine, my responsibility to share my story. It literally takes a lot of energy out of me, and it's frustrating because it's connected to that, that person in there. But on a spiritual level, just like I could see when I was a child, I could see the Most High working in me. I could see a higher frequency working in me that I always wanted. I always wanted to be free from lying and stealing and cheating and demonic energy and lust and hate and jealousy and envy and just certain frequencies that made me just feel like, oh, just so dark and messed up inside. You know what I'm saying? Like just um, cognitive dissonance, wanting to be something but not being able to because my frequency couldn't reach it. And wondering why. And when I would go to the established people, the list that they gave us, you can go to the clergy, you can go to the teacher, you can go to the counselor, you can go to the doctor. And I went to those people, they messed me up further. They weren't helpful to me because they were all locked in to the consciousness grid, that story that they tell muggles. And everybody needs to be a muggle for demons and vampires and sorcerers and witches to feed off of you. You know? And so when I saw these children as adults, and I was one of them, and I could see that, and I could see that I could contribute to helping by being a person that could clear my own frequency, my own demons that hurt people, and I didn't want to hurt people. And everybody was walking around looking for somebody to help them to do something about it. Even as an adult, deep inside we want to know that there is something pure, that there is something better, that there is something to work for, that there is really truth, that no, not everybody is walking around lying. We lie to ourselves and tell ourselves everybody is doing it. This is what it is. And as a child, I saw these adults telling me that with their behavior if they didn't say what they meant. Because I was trained to do some trifling stuff as a child from adults. And the biggest thing was how to keep my money. They weren't lying. They had the intelligence and the authority to be able to manipulate the neighborhood and have other. How was the
That's amazing. How they doing stuff. All that static. Let me see. You said your mom spanked you. Yeah. You don't have to show your face. I'm trying to see where static come back. If I hit you back on. You know, Facebook is weird.
Yeah, the nature is too sensitive to have this stuff just be swept away by their stress and stuff. So I'm not willing, you know, I'm not going to open up for the first time on that level and then have it swept away by. you know, by that kind of frequency. So, yeah, but in the future, we can talk more about the difference in the reality, you know, and how we taught to trust the wrong things. And when you can see they're infected, they attack you.
Only sounds good.
I told her mother about the event. That's not unusual, you know. I was we're infected. You know, our parents were infected by these demonic entities. So they learned that from the clergy, teachers, doctors. Their parents learned it from them too. So you know, what do we expect if nobody hears the narrative and nobody steps outside of that bubble thinking? You know, we couldn't see that they were manipulating us with spells and times and messages and stuff and putting things in the cartoons and the movies and anyhow, and we wanted so bad to see ourselves on the television that we took any image as image at all we could give us just to be able to see ourselves. You know, we really don't want to check our demons. They want to feed. They got to feed.
A lot of distortion. A lot of distortion. Facebook is open. There's a lot of distortion. T baby, I'll call you back.
It was scrambling or something.
I know that's Facebook doing.
Yeah.
You see how they do me?
Yeah. I see.
I told you I'm just doing a trial run on everything, just to see what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, go back to your story. So what you were saying, I mean, Regina, she was on a roll. So Facebook started messing up.
Honest.
Yeah.
Well, I was saying what she was saying, and what she was talking about. I can, relate to some of what she was saying, and that's what I had put that up there. That, my first time being abused, sexually or touched or whatever. I told my mom about it. I think I was about 5. I probably was about 4 or 5. Frankly, she was giving me a bath, like in a little sink and stuff, and I told her what was going on, pointing at the area, and she explained me, told me not to say, don't tell nobody, don't say nothing, don't ever tell nobody that, don't never say that again. So I just kept it in, when I got abused again, I never said anything. I never talked about it again. Because, hey, she told me never to say nothing. Never tell nobody those things. So I had to walk around, like that. I think the second time it happened to me, I think I was about 10 or 11, and that was one of the neighbors did it. Yeah, no. Just never said that. I was hurt, but I just never said anything, It really hurt, I just didn't say nothing, tell nobody. I just held that inside. But she really had a story. She had a story to tell as well. I could relate to some of the things she was saying. But as I was saying earlier, just for like if anyone listening, hopefully instead of keeping those type of things inside, you can release it. You can talk about it. There's people out there that really listen and care, that understand this is most of all. Being going through abusive relationships or mentally, physically, all that. There's people out there that really listen, that really care. And you don't have to be, you don't have to keep it inside anymore, and talk about it. Just say what you feel. Be free. Just be free.
Yeah, we are good for keeping quiet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, sis. I know I was, because I was scared and I was ashamed, and I didn't think no one out there, would really care about what I had to say or how I was feeling,
Facebook was scrambling a video.
And yeah, that's how I was feeling. And I kept quiet for a long time. I mean, it's a shame when you have kids and you still kept quiet about your story, still keeping quiet. But it does feel good when you release it. That, I didn't really tell it till I told Adonis.
Really?
He was the first one who knew about what happened in my life. He gave me the encouragement.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
You're welcome, yeah. But I am thankful. It was just that time. We never know who's going to be led in our life or come in our life. And, they come into our life. And sometimes we don't know those purposes, why a person comes in. But sometimes it's for a lifetime. Sometimes it's just for a while. Sometimes it's just for the moment. I mean, but it's just how can I say, how they had that reaction to me, like how they, the type, around that person and just be comfortable around that person. I never been comfortable around saying these things to anyone. It was just the type of energy that he has. And it just, made me speak. Like I said, as he told his, I told mine.
Your energy is awesome too. I mean, awesome. Yeah, Rika said we're good for keeping quiet.
Yeah, she did. True.
I know Rika got a hell of a story to tell.
Yeah, when me and Erika, when me and her, when we first talked and stuff, we met on a live. It was King Nigel, I believe we met, and when I talked to her one night, she was telling me, things about her story too. Yes, she has a very remarkable story as well. I mean, things that she went through, things she endured, and she's such a strong sister. I always, look at her like she's very strong for real. She's real. I mean, all the things she's been through, you feel like, hey, I'm still here, and I love her for that. I love her for all that. And just feels so much in her. She's also an encouragement to me as well. She might not know that, but she knows that now. That she is.
Hold on for a second. Hey Jennifer, anything you want to talk about? If so, I could call you on the phone and you could talk about whatever you want to talk about. Give me a signal. Or I could try to bring you in later. I know you don't want your face shown. Okay. Now what was you saying?
No, I was just saying that Eureka, she's encouragement. She's like someone I look up to as well. I would say she might not know it, but she knows it now. I just want her to know that. I just want her to know that.
I mean, she's an amazing woman.
She is. Yeah, she really is.
I mean, she told me her story, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
She still is on there. Rika, let us know that you're still here.
I don't remember if I took my meds today when I first started talking to you. I'm trying to figure it out if I did or not. I don't really think I did. But then again, I don't want to take them over if I did. But it's the same, I can't remember if I did or not.
She said, awesome. Thank you. Don't start making me tear up. Wow, I never seen me in that light.
Yes, you are a very inspiration, sis, and I just wanted to let you know that yes, I truly love you, and I love for you being you, and I honestly, from when I first met you, I've seen you grown. You have grown more than what when I first met you. So yes, you are indeed a light. And I really look up to you. A very amazing person.
A guiding light.
I've seen her do things like, I'm like, wow, like, yeah, she really is, though, for real. And I appreciate you. Yeah. And I love you being you. I love you. I do.
Thank you. I love you too.
And I love Aretha too. I told her I love her too. For being her, for just being who she is. I don't know. Yeah. You got her phone. There you go. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so. Yeah.
Love you, Rika. Thank you.
Thank you. you. Yeah, that's mine. It's on stuff now. It's good to have people like What are you eating, Johnny?
Huh?
What are you eating over there?
Some of that omelet I cooked this morning.
Oh, okay.
I'm not really hungry. But I gotta take my medicine.
Yeah, I can't remember if I did. Something's telling me I didn't, so no.
I know I swallowed up mine.
Yeah, I know I took some last night, but I know when I got, let me see, I think when we got on the phone, I think it was like almost 9 o'clock, I think. And again, that's normally the time, but I just don't remember taking it. So I don't think I should take it because I don't remember if I took it or not. So I guess if I start feeling a little strange, I guess maybe then I'll take it. I don't know if that's how that works, but and I don't feel no different type of way when I take it, so not for sure.
Well, you know, finally seeing Regina live.
Yeah.
Did you see her husband in the background?
No, I didn't see him.
Yeah, he was standing behind her.
Oh, he was. Oh, okay. No, I didn't really pay no attention.
I mean, Facebook went ham with all the static and stuff. They didn't have no. They didn't have no static on the Rika. I mean,
I don't know what happened. It was just it was just a lot of stuff going on back there. I couldn't hardly hear. Sound like a bunch of bumping noise or something. Like it was just really scrambling hard. I'm not gonna lie. It was really.
that was Facebook doing. You notice that they stopped. See, Virginia, she do a lot of videos.
Yeah.
A lot of videos, and she be speaking the truth. And see, when you got two people that speak the truth on a live, they don't like that. See, she was telling her story.
Yeah.
They don't like that.
Yeah.
Plus, she got followers.
Right.
Her followers would have came on. They don't like that.
Of course. They don't ever want to hear the truth about anything.
Ever.
All lies. That's all they want to hear. It's all lies.
Big time. Well, How long have we been doing this? Peace. Well,
I
family.
was gonna say, thank you, Adonis, for allowing me to share my story.
We'll be doing this again. It won't be the last time because you got a lot of story to tell, and this to be your therapy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was good. It was all good, and I enjoyed everyone. And thank everyone who did come, to the live and listen and told their story, or hopefully we would, someone would be encouraged, to next time step up and if they want to say something, go for it, release it, be free.
The name of this show is our Melanated Talk Show. Our Melanated Talk Show. It's a talk show for everybody. So whenever you see our Melanated Talk Show, come on in.
Feel free.
And tell your story. Now Facebook will try to distort stuff and everything else. But maybe you might get lucky where there's no distortion at all. They don't want us healing. They want us killing. So peace is spiritual reflection. And I only say that because we're a spiritual reflection of each other. And can you see me inside of you? Because I sure can see you inside of me. One and oneness. I'm out of here. Family, friends, gods, goddesses, kings and queens. Have a very melanated day. Hey, 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 hey.